Jay here again. I'm the Dean of Medical, Clinical, and Educational Services here at the Thai Yoga Center and also at the SomaVeda College of Natural Medicine. We're heading into video number 9 in this new series on diet, food, sacred nutrition, and principles thereof. And before we get into that video lesson, I just wanted to talk for a minute just to remind you that we have incredible professional development programs suitable for people who have never been in the health field, have never done healing work, have never done anything that's related to that, either as a practice for themselves, for their family, or certainly they've never done it as a livelihood or as a way of making a living. And then we also have programs that are suitable for people who are in the healthcare business and don't like it anymore. They want to transition into something that's, how can I say this, more ethical, more moral, more sane, more patient-centric, less corporate, less technocratical, less... You know what I'm saying, okay? And it's completely understandable that you want to get into healing work. It's interesting. All the this cerveza bug situation has actually enlightened so many medical people as to the nature of the industry that they're actually working in, and we want to help you transition to pivot into something golden. So if you want to move to the good side and create a path towards healing for yourself and your family or your community, or even start an entirely new livelihood, an entirely new healing practice or ministry, we can help you do that. So what I need you to do is to send me an email to nativeaic@somaveda.com. That's nativeaic@somaveda.com, or call me. My number's on the Thai Yoga Center website. It's also on our clinic website at Natural Wellness Solutions Tribal Clinic. Okay, and call me for a personal counseling session so I can discuss with you your needs, your objectives, your situation, and also whether or not the types of alternative medicine and traditional indigenous medicine programs in Ayurveda and yoga therapy, traditional Thai medicine, traditional Thai yoga, Native American medicine, homeopathy, naturopathy, and so on, whether our programs are suitable for you. Happy to have that discussion with you. And the only other couple of things I want to mention real quick, so I know you want to get on to the content, is that on our website at thaiyogacenter.com, we have a practitioner directory, and you can go there and see if there's a certified SomaVeda practitioner near you or near enough to you where you can go and you can experience a SomaVeda program or protocol. So that's one thing. The other thing being, there are many articles and interesting information on everything from pandemic strategies for yoga therapy to legal articles that may blow your mind. You'll either find enlightening or you may otherwise find them somewhat helpful. We are making recommendations for pre and comorbidities and how to move forward, how to be happy, and how to be prosperous and practical in spite of all the draconian, tyrannical, weird things that are going on everywhere. We are not sitting still. We're not standing by. We're on it. I'd be happy to consult with you about this. Again, my email is nativeaic@gmail.com. The website's thaiyogacenter.com. And we also have, for those of you who, for whatever reason, are unable to travel, we do have some really terrific online and distance learning programs as well. I'm happy to talk about anything. You want to talk about education, you want to talk about college, you want to talk about boosting your credibility with additional certifications. You want to talk about prerequisites to organizing a medical ministry, whatever you want to talk about, I'm here for you. So that's pretty much it for me. And enjoy lesson number 9. And I'll be coming back to you soon, probably on lesson number 10. All right. God bless and have a terrific day. On how fresh the fish is or not, it may have more baddies, no, that bad spirit, okay? And so even though it's the best food that they could eat, sometimes they would get sick after eating it. And they deducted that it's something in the fish. And they realized that there's a vegetable called shiso, that is antibacterial, antiviral, and antifungal, and is also a little bit bitter, which means it has high levels of nutritional arsenic, among other things. And that when you eat the fresh fish that might be contaminated, if you also at the same time eat shiso leaf, then if you're the one that eats the shiso leaf and you don't, you'll be the one that gets sick. I won't get sick. And so forever, you never serve sushi in Japan without a shiso leaf. But shiso in the United States, in Oriental markets, is $1 a leaf. So you'll buy a bundle of shiso leaves, it'll be $10 for a bundle of like this big. The leaf's about this big, and it has a sawtooth edge. And a bundle, they're $1 a piece. So, and in fact, you could pay $2 a leaf for fresh shiso. And so they decided in America it's too expensive because you don't know if the sushi's good anyway. You can't even tell what kind of fish you're eating. So what you don't know the difference between a whole fresh shiso leaf and why you would have it and a fake one or a plastic one. But here's the thing. Now I know COVID has changed the rules a little bit, but I learned this a long time ago when one of my Japanese teachers, Harry Watanabe, took me out to lunch at a Japanese restaurant. And they brought the sushi, and it had the plastic leaf on the table, and Harry goes like this, and the chef comes over and he goes, shiso. And the chef goes, hi! And goes off for a minute, and he comes back with a plate of 4 leaves of shiso. And he hands it to him and bows, and Harry takes the shiso leaf and he cuts them in half and he gives me one half of the leaf, and he takes the other leaf, and he's like, bite the shiso first, then have the sushi, then have the ginger. So he goes shiso, sushi, ginger, okay, with wasabi. Wasabi also, daikon radish, the reason why we have wasabi is not for flavoring. The reason why you have wasabi is because radish is antibacterial, antiviral, anti-inflammatory, and antifungal. Wasabi has all those. It is a medicine. It is an actual medicine. You've heard of turmeric for inflammation, right? But actually, daikon radish is much more abundant and plentiful and accessible and does pretty much most of the same things that turmeric does. But it's hot, like a pepper, where turmeric is not. In fact, turmeric's kind of bland, okay? But it's more colorful than it is flavorful. But radish is more flavorful than colorful because it can be white and burn your mouth out. Burn your nose out. You can't even breathe for a minute after you take it. Or it's green when it's what? Unripe. So green radish of the daikon, that's the green radish that you make for wasabi. Wasabi is unripe radish, okay? Because once it matures, it what? It turns white, okay? And it sweetens. It's not bitter anymore. Now, I've covered a lot of bases, and I'd like you to ask a question, or if you have any input from any of the documentaries that you watched, anything at all. Just from your notes, so you don't have to try and remember, just pick one. Louder.
I was wondering about alkaline water.
Alkaline water, okay.
Amounts that are acceptable to drink if you have a machine. I didn't explore them a lot. I'm hearing more about them now. Dr. Robert O. Young, people like that talking about pH in them.
Right.
And so I was wondering about amounts. Is there an unhealthy amount that you could consume of healthy?
It's not about the amount, it's about the pH. Okay? In other words, you can have alkaline to a degree where it will burn a hole right through you. So how much of that should you have? Not much. For example, lye. Okay? Lye's pH, if you put lye directly on your skin, it'll burn a hole right through your skin. Okay? And it's got, I forget what the pH is of lye right off the top of my head, but it's around 14. It's ridiculous. Okay? It'll burn a hole right through your skin. It's as an alkaline. And then you go the other way, you have fluoric acid, and you put a drop of fluoric acid on your skin, and it won't stop till it gets through the floor. It'll go right through your skin, drip on the floor, burn through the carpet, go through the wood, and just keep right on going until it's completely dissolved. So that's acidic. That's a little too acidic. Muriatic acid, I can use to clean my driveway fairly safely. I don't want to spill a lot of it on me. And I'll wear gloves and I'll wear throwaway shoes or rubber boots, and I'll hose it down when I'm done. But I can use that to strip paint, or I can use that to clean mold. I can use it all day long, and it's relatively safe. But if I let it sit on my skin, it would blister my skin. And if I breathe it, it would cause inflammation in my lungs. So that's too acidic. Okay, but not too acidic. So alkaline water is just not neutral. Not neutral pH. Okay, not alkaline, not acidic. And the only way to tell is with a pH meter or a pH strip. I use both depending on what I'm doing. But litmus paper is pH paper. So you want to know, what is pH paper? It's litmus paper. And it's graded, and it'll have, depending on the paper, it'll have between 5 and 8 bars, color-coded, and when you dip them in the water or dip them in the juice of the food or what have you, it will change color. And then you look on the box or look on a chart that's accurately colored, because the problem with printing charts off the internet or off your computer is if your monitor is not color corrected, the colors may not be what you think they are. And if the printer is not color corrected, the color that's on the paper that you print may not be the color that it's supposed to be. Okay? So for scientific work like that, you have to actually use a color-corrected monitor and a color-corrected printer so that you actually are seeing the actual color and you're actually printing the actual color. Bunch of fuss and bother. Don't do it. I used to do that in the past, and I had to have a special device to put on my monitor that would measure the temperature of the colors on the monitor, and then I could take that and apply it to the printout and see if they were the same color. Oh my God, what a bunch of fuss and bother. You don't have to do that. You just buy litmus paper, okay, off of eBay or off of Amazon, and then you can test your own, okay? Test your spit, test your urine twice a day, morning and night, because it changes. Your pH of your urine and pH of your mucus is different morning and night. So you have to test your pH twice a day if you're going to do a pH thing, okay? And then you keep notes, and then your pH is not what it was today. Your pH is the average that it was this week. Okay, so people are ridiculous that they'll do their pH in the morning and then will adjust their diet all day and then do their pH in the evening, and it's like this. Trying to balance your pH, whoop, damn it, And I'm trying to get, I'm doing everything everybody told me to make my diet more alkaline and to balance my pH, but when I test it, I'm still acidic. Damn it, I should be more alkaline, right? And then they end up overdosing on the alkaline foods, so to speak. Although technically I don't think it's possible. But what is possible is that if you narrow your nutritional profile too much, that also will trigger malnutrition, even if you're alkaline pH. See, again, alkaline or not, acidosis is still only part of the equation for a balanced diet. It's only part, okay? Because you can be pH balanced and malnourished at the same time. And so as long as you can be pH balanced, which is alkaline, okay, you can still be malnourished, which is a factor of minerals, enzymes, probiotics, proteins, and carbohydrates, and fat metabolism, right? So you can be out of all those things. If you're pH balanced today, but you eat no fat today, you will not be able to maintain an alkaline pH. Why? Fat's absolutely necessary to do that in human beings. Absolutely necessary. And if you don't get enough fat in your diet, your skin will show it. You'll be blotchy, and you'll have eczemas and psoriasis, and you will have skin sloughing, and you'll have blotchy complexion. Your hair will be brittle. Your fingernails and toenails will be brittle. That's just from not having sufficient fat. Okay? Your liver function will decline. And there's a critical point where you'll become jaundiced, and that can kill you. But long before that, though, you'll develop neurologic defects and insomnia, sleeplessness, agitation, irritation, anxiety, shortness of breath. You'll have defects in the sclera of your eyes. It's from a low-fat diet, okay? So acidosis, yes, I believe balancing acid alkaline is important to track if you need to correct from a chronic illness, okay? And that's how we do it. We take the pH twice a day, spit and urine, morning and evening, okay? And in fact, if you do that, you'll be amazed at how radically different your pH is. If you take the pH of the first release of urine in the morning and then do it again at night before you go to bed, you're going to see a huge swing in the pH. And pH stands for what? Somebody tell me.
Potential of hydrogen.
Say it again.
Potential of hydrogen.
Nope. No, you're wrong. Wrong. No, I'm just jiving. Not potential, percent. It's actually the number of hydrogen molecules. It's a number. So the number is a percent. It's not a potential.
I thought it was the potential of hydrogen molecules that the hydrogen, or that other molecules could assume of hydrogen. So
There is potential for ionic exchange of other molecules.
yeah, that's the thing.
But pH itself is actually the actual percentage of hydrogen in the molecule.
Okay. Thanks for the clarification.
Sorry. I'm just saying, yeah.
Thanks for the clarification.
Leading from your answer to Cindy's question with the eating documentary, you were definitely advocating that a high-fat diet is what brings about these, disease
Correct.
processes.
Part of it, yes.
Yes, and there are some elements they were leaving out. They were only correlating animal food.
That's correct. And more than that, cooked animal fat,
Yeah.
okay? And or burned, carbonized animal fat, okay? Like I said, I don't agree with everything that's in that documentary. I don't. I love Mike Anderson to death. He is just such a genuine person, and he went through such a horrible thing with his dad, and that was his genesis of him putting that together and so on. It's as heartfelt, reasonable, and well-researched as any I've seen, which is why I show it in class, okay? But as a starting point. But yes, you need fat, but it has to be percentage-wise good fat, okay?
I think that's what they left out, because
Right.
the American diet has a lot of
Right.
hydrogenated
And,
toxic
and again,
oils.
they had to leave it out because the documentary is only 2 hours long. Okay, so there's a whole things you can talk about and a whole lot of things you cannot. And he emphasized a lot of the really negative side because his father was murdered by doctors who didn't understand this. Okay, so we call that, see, you can murder someone by accident, right? And we call that negligent homicide. You can murder someone by accident. You can murder someone, well, I didn't mean to kill him. Actually, I was trying to help him. But then my foot slipped off the brake and I hit the accelerator and I ran over him and I killed him. And it's nothing personal. You're not a bad person because you did that. But that is called homicide because the result of your negligence or your ignorance was that somebody died. And what Mike Anderson's story is that when he researched his experience with him and his father, because he was with his father all the way through, the doctors either lied directly to their face, lied directly. See, lied directly is when you sincerely ask the doctor, is there anything that we can do that could help him live longer or suffer less or have less pain? And the doctor looks you right in the eye and goes, no. There's nothing you can do. We do not attempt.
You will grow to be tall, staring out over miles of land without it, but wanting to build up walls. Lift me